Hey everyone, it's Ridge again with Sharp Ridge Outdoors. Today we're going to be looking at the target bow again. Today we will be changing the D-loop, as you can see right there. So I'm going to try a little different of a camera angle. I'm going to try a top-down view so you guys can see better on stuff like the D-loop, and we'll go ahead and get into it. Okay, first things first, we're going to get our bow on the press, and it's still set to this bow from the last time I did this. So we're just gonna have it tight enough to hold the bow in place, and that's all we want. We don't want to put tension on the limbs or anything like that yet. Take our razor blade, cut it off, just like that. Still hanging on, so I'll cut down, but try not to hit any of the serving on the actual string itself, just the D-loop material right there. So there's one side off. Now we'll do this other side. There we go. And looks like the last owner of this bow had soft knocks on it. They're kind of hard to see. I'll see if I can focus the camera on it. Don't think I really can. Anyway, it's just string tied around to keep that arrow in place. So I'm going to cut that old soft knock off, because we're going to put a new one ourselves. Go. And this is our Easton T-square. We're just going to mount it right here, push it onto the string, and it clips into place in those little grooves. So right here behind the T-square, I'll go ahead and take it off, you'll see this burger button, or this screw hole where the rest screws into it. You want this T-square positioned so that that arrow will eventually be shooting, when it's level, flush through that hole right there. You are perpendicular to it, just like that. So we're going to set our T-square right there, and the marks of the T-square kind of let us know where to put the arrow. Now I'll actually look down back at that burger button that I told you guys about, just where the rest mounts. Now I'm going to line it up with this. See if I have it in the right spot. So I'll show you real quick. Where that 0 mark is right there, right now where I have the T-square placed, this edge is the bottom of the burger button. So if I put a soft knock on, it needs to come straight up to that line, but it doesn't need to pass that one. So we want this to stop about right there in front of that, right on that O. So just a hair behind it, right in there. So I'll go ahead and start tying this. Put that through. And just like you tie your shoes, the first knot you make, I don't know official terms. Try to make that a little clearer. Maybe. There. Just make that first knot once, like so, and then make it again. So it's just a double knot. So I've done a double knot. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this, and again we want to be behind that 0. That looks like we're behind it. So get a hold of that string, tighten that down, pull this down. Now you can see we're 2 ticks off of that 0. So I want to actually bring it forward a little bit because I know that that's just gonna make me use up more of this material. So move this forward a hair, tighten it again, tighten it good, perfect. So now we'll come on the underside. It's a little harder with this T-square. We'll get it through that string. We'll tie first knot, tie around, do it again, double knot it, perfect. Now pull that through between the string and the T-square and pull these two in on each other, just like you're tying your shoes. And now what we did with this one was actually we came on the top side of this, so we're stacking them. Tighten, just keep pulling right there. We're right on that 0, perfect. So now we have 1 to start it, and then we put 1 this way, just stacking. Now we're gonna go the opposite way. We're gonna stack 2 more going that way. So go ahead and tie it twice, just like we've been doing. Bam. Now stack it. So that right there is 3. And like I said, I put this one on the opposite end over on this side. And I'm gonna do I was gonna do a 4th one, but I think 3 will work good here. And we'll try to do the same thing on the other side. So now, take our lighter, pull tight on this string, and you want to burn it about 1/4 of an inch away from the serving, and that's from this string, just so we don't have much to burn off. Burn off. There. Dab it down. Perfect. And do the same thing with the opposite side. Dab it. Perfect. So, that is the first soft knock. Now we can take off our T-square because we've got the first one set where it needs to be. Take our arrow. There's our knock. That tells us how far away we need to put the other soft knock. When we tie this one, we want to have this one resting against this arrow resting against the first soft knock. And then start this one. Go ahead and do the double knot. Don't tighten it down yet. All you want to do is just get it next to the arrow. Now, you want to avoid knock pinch, which is when you pull the string back, these 2 knocks are so tight on the arrow that it actually pinches the arrow, causing the arrow to flip up when you pull back like that. It's got tension on it. You don't want any tension squeezing on that arrow. So you want to have this off far enough so that when you're at full draw, it just touches without actually putting any pressure or tension on that arrow. So ideally, you just want a little bit of play in the arrow when it sits. Now that's too much. You don't want that much play. You just want a hair. Not even 1/4 of an inch, maybe more like a 1/16. Just enough to where you can actually move the arrow a hair. Now that's still a little too much, but we still have 1 more knot to go in towards the arrow. So that's actually where we want it. So you want to start out to where it's just a hair too much. Because by the time we do 1 knot going in towards the arrow, that will fix that problem. So double knot, pull it tight. Before you pull it tight completely, go ahead and test to see how that arrow fits. Now that's too loose. So I'm bringing that knock in a little more. That's about perfect. It's just a little bit, and we want to pull this string until it basically cuts into this serving, creates a groove for it to rest in and cannot move. Now, you can test it by moving back and forth It's not moving. Now the arrow. That's perfect. Do you see that's that little bit of wiggle? By the time you get to full draw, that's not going to do anything, and it's not going to pinch it either. And the reason we want to get these tight is so that it doesn't move once we're at full draw, because once you get your D-loop set, that if it's loose, if those two soft knocks are loose, the D-loops will pull them in towards the arrow. So that's why we pull on them quite a bit. Now, the third, do your double knot. Bam. Pull it tight. Now, the fourth knot. Oh wait, we only did 3 on the other one, so you kind of want to match what you did before. So we'll only do 3. Remember, about 1/4 of an inch away. And that's why the ball becomes too big. Just a little too much. Squeeze that in place. Okay. See how that fits now? Perfect.